Hello and welcome. Today we're making our low-carb take on the classic cottage pie. We're going to reduce the carbs by using cauliflower mash instead of a regular potato mash topping. Right, let's get started. Snapshot the ingredients. In addition to these ingredients, you're going to need a couple of frying pans and a baking dish. Let's get started. First thing we're going to do is dice the onion. You want to get each piece of onion about the same size so it cooks evenly. Next, we're going to chop up 2 carrots. There's no particular magic to this, but you do want to make sure that each piece of carrot is roughly the same size. Once we've finished chopping the carrot, next up we're going to chop the baby spinach. You just want to run the knife through the spinach leaves a couple of times just to make sure you're chopping up the bigger leaves into smaller pieces. Then we're going to strip the rosemary leaves off the stalks. Once you have a good pile of leaves, scoop them up together and then rock the knife back and forth, chopping the leaves into smaller and smaller pieces. Once the rosemary is finely chopped, we're going to move on to the thyme. Strip the leaves off the stalk. Okay, now we're ready to start cooking. Heat a frying pan over a high heat and add the onion and carrot. Saute the onion and carrot for a couple of minutes, stirring often to make sure nothing sticks to the bottom of the pan. Next we're going to add the garlic and then the herbs. Give it a good stir to make sure you move that garlic around and cook it well. Then we're going to add the ground beef. Break the beef up as you're adding it to the pan, then break it up even more with a wooden spoon to make sure there are no large clumps and it cooks evenly. Fry the beef off for a few minutes until it's nearly cooked through. Turn the heat down a little bit to medium. Next up, we're going to add the water followed by the tomato paste. Once the tomato paste is well combined, the next thing you're going to add is the beef stock powder. Tip the beef stock in and stir well to make sure there's no lumps. Let that simmer now for a few more minutes until it's fully cooked. Finally, we're going to add the baby spinach and stir through until it's slightly wilted and well combined. Give that about 30 seconds until it's thoroughly cooked, then take it off the heat and set to one side. At this point, preheat the grill or broiler to high. Next up, we're going to cook the cauliflower mash. Melt the butter in another frying pan over a high heat. Once the butter is sizzling, add the cauliflower rice. Break up any clumps with a spoon, give it a good stir, and saute for a few minutes until some of the moisture has evaporated. Then you want to add your cream to get it to a nice mash consistency. Grab a baking dish and tip the beef into it, making sure it's evenly covering the base of the dish. Now spoon the cauliflower mash over the top of the beef, spreading it out evenly to all corners of the dish and smoothing it down with the back of the spoon. Last step, we want to top the pie with lots of grated cheese. Don't be shy with the cheese, make sure you get a generous amount on there. Once you're done, you want to pop the dish under the grill or broiler and grill until the cheese is melted and the top of your pie is nice and golden. Now it's time to eat your pie and enjoy.